So I watched episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again. First of all, I loved the Fisk half of this episode. It was so fun. The whole premise of his segment, of him doing politics, is just kind of hilarious and works. It really does. He's doing mayor things, and I love it. The hilarious juxtaposition between his everything and him visiting elementary school students and listening to their music and having random political dinners with different voting blocks. It's great. It's great. All of it is delightful situational comedy that really works within the tone of this show. Like, it doesn't break the dark tone. I feel like it stays with the story. It works, and I like it. I like it a lot. Some unintentional comedy is the blocking of the scene where Fisk unveils his plan to revitalize this port. The meeting is just him and his like 3 aides at the port and no one else. And yet they felt the need to make this entire model of the port and what he's going to do, but like in the middle of the port. Like they're just there at this like desolate port outside, and they have like this child's play table filled with like plant. It's so silly. It makes no sense because you have to imagine that someone dragged that table out there for that one meeting and then had to drag it all back and make it. It's comical. It's comical. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. It looks so ridiculous because you know that it's a visual just for the audience. It's just there for the audience. It takes you out because it no one would do it like that. If they were in a meeting room, that would make sense. But they're not in a meeting room. They're not. Oh, whatever. Whatever. Fisk's optimistic young aide blabs about a different Fisk plan to BB at a bar, and it ends up in the news, which pisses off Fisk. I mean, he is enraged. And he's like, I am going to tear apart whoever did this. And the guy reveals it's him, admits it's him. I love it. Fisk being confronted with this, like, act of loyalty to him, but, like, just pure cojones of being like, I'm going to admit to Fisk that I'm the one who screwed up. And if he's going to destroy me, then he's going to destroy me. Wow. But really intense, well acted, and I enjoyed that. I thought it was a good scene. I love pretty much all of Fisk's scenes. His plot was very fun. We even had a couples counseling session with Matt's girlfriend. It even had a bit of that comedy that I was hoping for, like them dancing around the issue and them calling the more criminal elements of what they did business. It works, and that's kind of the vibe that I was hoping they'd go for. It's not fully there, but it's in the direction that I was hoping these scenes would take. It was awkward in little places because the psychiatrist like urged Fisk's wife to talk about her affair, the guy she apparently cheated on with him, which maybe happened in Echo or something because they don't really set that up. It just sort of comes out. It's strange because I don't feel like any psychologist in the world would be like, yes, talk about your affair in front of your husband. That's great idea. That's a little dumb. It feels like it was done just so that the audience would know about this character and comes across as just a bit awkward. Like, they need to inform us who this guy is because we find out at the end of the episode that Fisk has been keeping this man in like a dungeon somewhere, uh, which was a great reveal because it kind of reminded you and kind of, or I should say, clarified that not like Fisk is still Fisk, and just because he's trying out this like mayor thing doesn't mean he stopped being Fisk, and I appreciated that. It also tied pretty well into this episode's kind of themes of forgiveness, because that also I felt like it was a big theme in Matt's side of the story. So on Matt's end, the first scene is with the coroner, who is analyzing Hector's body because Hector died last episode. And then Hector's niece comes to visit it. And I'm like, oh my God, he has a niece. And they keep showing shots of the necklace, which is going into like evidence. And I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna get that necklace. They killed Hector so that this girl would be like the white tiger. Oh my God, I would have. It's so obvious. I would have predicted it if they had bothered to introduce this character before this scene. I mean, that could go in interesting directions. Like, have if Daredevil and her have sort of a paternal energy going. Maybe. I'm still disappointed by Hector's death. I feel like there's a lot of wasted potential there, but I guess they're gonna try to salvage that potential with this niece character. Anyway, Matt is determined to find Hector's killers, but before that, he needs to defend this small-time crook who stole some fiddle faddle. I didn't even know what fiddle faddle was, because that was a bit before my time, but the people I was watching it with actually bought me fiddle faddle, so now I've tried fiddle faddle. Tasty. Not worth going to jail for. That's my official review of Fiddle Faddle. My review of this segment is that it doesn't really tie into anything. Like, I'm not quite sure the point. It just kind of disrupted the flow of Matt's story of Matt needing to find who killed Hector. That's like his focus, and then we're talking about this random guy, which I don't think is gonna play in, but I hope so. I kind of hope it does, because right now the scene, I don't feel had a point outside of, I think, moralizing to the audience, because it had like a message, which is okay, but the message kind of, like, they tried to tie it in with the overall frustration Matt has with the justice system and different things like that, but it felt very random. I hope they're going somewhere with it, but it didn't feel like it. At least while he was there, he chatted with the cop that really wanted Hector to take the fall for the death of his partner, and using his heartbeat trick, Matt determined that he wasn't the man responsible. At least his heart seemed steady enough. So I guess that moved the plot along a bit. Then Matt goes to the scene where Hector died and finds the bullet and somehow feels an engraving on the bullet that's the mark of the Punisher. So then he goes to visit the Punisher. He apparently knows where Frank lives, so he goes down there and they have a very intense scene that is great, and I love it. It's very heavily inspired by their original argument back in season 2 of Netflix's Daredevil. It takes a lot of cues from it, the way the flow of the conversation is structured and the subject matter. It's basically invoking that scene, which is fine. That's a fantastic scene to imitate.
You're a half measure. I think you're a man who can't finish the job. You know, you're one bad day away from being me.
It took me out a little bit just because I could tell that was the narrative DNA that they were heavily pulling from. But I was like, I mean, those actors have just great argumentative chemistry. They're so good at cutting each other's sentences off in a very realistic and human fashion, and they're just great at arguing with each other. So it's a great scene, and the themes tie in with the themes of the show really well. The tension is just palpable, and the subject matter cut deep into the core of why Matt gave up Daredevil and why he feels guilty about it. It's great, and you could feel him pushing Matt back to his Daredevil persona and his vigilante ways, which of course everyone's excited about, because this isn't Matt Murdock, the crime drama. This is Daredevil. This is what people clicked on the show to see. So that was exciting because he did pick up the weapons at the end, and that seems to be the implication. The only problem I have with the scene is it's a microcosm of the problem I have with the whole show, which is that they did not set up anything. You have to know, you have to have watched Netflix's Daredevil to fully appreciate that scene, because they do not explain who Frank Castle is, or the Punisher, or their relationship with each other. Nothing. You have no idea who this man is. He's like a random hobo underground as far as a new viewer is concerned. No clue that he's like a vigilante or what he stands for or what anything. Anything. You don't know anything about this man. They've made no attempt to ground him within the context of this show, which is the problem with the whole show. I just have to accept this is season 4. I think it's a mistake to do it this way, but that is the reality. The show, you cannot really appreciate the show without having some prior context. You can't. It's just like they don't even bother. They don't even bother to explain anything. Oh my God. It just comes out swinging. There is no build-up for this intensity. None at all. I think this works if you've seen the Netflix show, but if you haven't, I'm going to guess it's pretty jarring. I don't know. And then after that, he talks to his girlfriend, and they have kind of a nothing scene. And, like, I wish they touched on, like, what their connection is, because right now they are the most cookie cutter relationship ever. There's like nothing going on in their relationship except benign pleasantries, and I hope they're going somewhere with that. Their chemistry is pretty just like whatever. Okay. And anyway, afterwards he's in bed with her, and then he gets up and goes to his like secret room where he keeps all his Daredevil stuff and picks up the weapons, and then I guess he's Daredevil again, maybe. And then the episode ends. I enjoyed some parts of it. The fist parts were a delight. Frank Castle was a really strong scene. I wish there was build up for it, but it was a strong scene. Yeah, I mean, I'm not writing it off. I still am enjoying it. There's still something there, so long as it's going in a direction that makes sense. But we'll see. And so subscribe if you want to see what my opinion's on for those. I know I'm a little behind the show. Probably a lot behind the show at this point. But I will be catching up. Leave a comment telling me what you think of Daredevil. Just as a reminder, the first 10 chapters of Bonesong, Diary of a Sentient Sword, are available for free in the link below. Feel free to check it out. It costs you nothing. Happy reading. Take care, guys.